Howdy guys, Comic Boom here to talk about Man of Steel #1. Bendis has arrived, and I have to say he's arrived in stupendous fashion. Let's check it out. I'm impressed, guys. Bendis has done a really good job here. The enemy of Superman, a man by the name of Rogol Zaar, it ends up he's basically somewhat of a, he's basically a terrorist. He's a terrorist. And what's interesting here is that the way Bendis is playing this, he really is sort of focusing on, he's focusing on trying to create an analogy between present day, I think, politics, international politics, particularly American politics, and trying to draw some analogies in the world and mythology of Superman. Rogol Zaar basically is someone who always had some resentment of Krypton for no other reason than Krypton was the hub of all commerce, and basically it was just too powerful, and too many other planets had to be subservient to Krypton because it's almost like the United States is to the rest of the world. And it's interesting here that he, at one point in the past, before Krypton was exploded, he made a plea to the Circle. And apparently the Circle consists of a Guardian, as well as some other entity and some beings. And I'm not sure who the other beings are. I recognize Guardians of the Universe, Guardians of the Universe being the creators of the Green Lantern Corps. But I'm not sure who the other members of the Circle are. But apparently Rogol Zaar at one point asked for their help to basically eradicate Krypton, but they rejected his offer because they rightly said that, well, look, Krypton hasn't done anything wrong, they haven't harmed anybody, so they're engaging in some trade wars. I'm not quite certain why Rogol Zaar was such a fanatic, why he felt that Krypton needs to be cleansed. He says the damage to our resources will be catastrophic. War is not the answer. Krypton must be cleansed, every last one of them. I don't know how he doesn't think that that's war. Exterminating an entire planet, I would think, would be war. That would be far worse than war. So he's definitely psychotic, crazy. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sympathetic to his cause. It doesn't really make a lot of sense exterminating an entire planet because you don't like their trade policy, basically. It seems a little bit odd to me, but again, you can kind of see sort of we have such zealotry on our planet dealing with our international politics as well, so you can kind of see where he's going with that. Now, not much more is revealed about Rogol Zaar other than that. What I really like about Bendis is that he has his own take on Superman's powers, and particularly with a couple of B-level villains at the beginning. There we have, I think it's Mothman, or Killer Moth, and another small town hood, Firefly. And it's kind of funny how they're saying, Firefly's basically telling Killer Moth, keep your voice down because you're in Metropolis here. You're not in Gotham City. Superman can hear conversations. His super hearing can pick up certain key phrases that criminals might say. Phrases like, where's the money, for example. In any event, it's quite good. It's a great scene where Superman apprehends both Firefly and Killer Moth. And there's some pretty good jokes about Batman and some comparisons between Batman and Superman, and it's just beautiful art rendered throughout this entire issue. Very well done. The artist is Ivan Reis. He's done a really good job in this issue. Fantastic. And Jay Fabek did the art on the last 2 pages. Just really fantastic art. We're introduced to some new characters. One in particular is a female redheaded firefighter by the name of Melody Moore, and she's got somewhat of a little crush on Superman there, and that was but it was pretty good. Bendis once again displays his great use of dialogue here. He does it pretty good. I was a little bit concerned about his use of dialogue because sometimes Bendis can be a little bit too wordy. His exposition can go off. He can go on a tangent in terms of dialogue, and he can dialogue a story to death. What I like about here is not only is the dialogue just the right amount of dialogue, but it's interladen with scenes where there's no dialogue at all or very little, and there's just quiet moments where he lets the artist Ivan Reis just show off his talents, and because some panels simply don't need any dialogue, and it's nice that Bendis did that, and it really works well, and we also get some interesting interactions between Perry White, the people of Perry White, and the people of the Daily Planet, and Clark Kent working at the planet, and he's working the arson angle. And because at the beginning of the issue, when he meets Melody Moore, the fireman, he of course he rescues a young girl from the fire, and there's some great interaction there, and they suspect arson. So once again, Clark Kent's abilities as a reporter are going to be focused on, and Bendis talked about that. And then of course it sort of ends on a cliffhanger with Clark, Lois, and Jonathan sort of disappearing into a white light because something attacks them. We don't know what, but a great cliffhanger. This is a weekly series. This is the first week. So looking forward to more of this stuff. Great stuff. Thank God it's DC as well. Every week we're going to get something good, bang for a buck here. This is really well done. And I also want to give credit to DC because this is also digital. It's $3.99, but you can get a digital copy when you get this as well, which is excellent because I know that DC stopped doing digital in some of their comic books, which I don't like. I liked having the option of having a digital as well. So kudos to DC for doing that. Guys, this is a great work by Bendis. Pick it up. I think you'll be happy with it. And in the meantime, Comic Boom, out.